Hi, this is Patty Hodge, and this is Dr. Nurses Rock. Today I have a special guest who I've known for a number of years now, and I love her very much. Her name is Evan Marie Carr. Evan is a woman of many talents. So let me just very quickly run down some of the things that she's reminded me of here, from opera stages to AI algorithms. Fascinating. Evan Marie has never met a box she was willing to stay in. Truth. Classically trained vocalist turned tech founder, she's the co-creator of Dark Violet AI and Lumi Forge. These are platforms built on the radical idea that technology should elevate human potential instead of replacing it. Her vast experiences personally and professionally give her a unique vantage point. With her, the same brain can build machine learning models, also ask the big questions. What does it mean to be human in an AI world? Great question. Why are we accepting cultural narratives that diminish us? How do spirituality, technology, social evolution, and consciousness actually intersect? What are we teaching our children about being human? She practiced pattern, oh, I'm sorry, she brings pattern recognition from operating at the intersection of art, technology, education, spirituality, and human development. She brings the unflinching willingness to examine what we're told versus what's actually true. Creative problem solver, critical thinker, and someone deeply invested in humanity, waking up to its own potential. What a great bio, and welcome to you, Evan Marie.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. So I know you as my vocal coach from years ago, and then lots of things happened. COVID hit, and the world shut down, and you started to do something with AI. So
Right.
what happened there? How did that come to be?
Well, as you said, the world fell down around all of us. And while their lives kind of came back together, mine didn't. And mine didn't, and is just now coming back together. And so suffice it to say, found myself in a place where I had to find a way that I would be able to take care of my family should nothing ever get better. And what I found was that I should say that I couldn't continue teaching private voice students because that was the way my family got COVID the first time anyway. And knowing that we were a very high risk household because of family members, I felt very trapped, and I'm not good when trapped. I don't panic. I strategize, and I found programming, and I can't say that I immediately fell in love with it. I immediately cried a lot while I was learning in the beginning because I signed up for a couple of Harvard courses to kind of force myself into commitment to at least try my best at it. And I finished what would have taken what generally takes students about 6 months to do. I did it in 6 weeks. And so I cried a lot for those 6 weeks. And one of the courses that I took was the Harvard course, um, computer science with a focus on artificial intelligence. And this was before the big explosion of commercially available artificial intelligence. But for me, data and what you can do with data through programming and through artificial intelligence, it was akin to how much I loved Legos when I was little, how much I loved taking things apart and putting them back together, sometimes putting them back together differently than they were before I took them apart. And it, it's a snowball that just keeps rolling. It's like the better the AI gets, the more I can do with it, the more I can give because of I can give to the world. And so it's just been, I can't say that I don't miss music, but I can say that I feel very fulfilled in what I'm doing and that music is never going to be gone from my life. So that's a very interesting nutshell, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it is a very interesting nutshell. Obviously, this channel is about what helps us stay joyful and healthy and any way possible. and mostly around self-care and evidence-based self-care. So we know that music is right up top there about how we can take care of ourselves. But how do we do that with AI? How do we intersect those two things?
Well, what I've found, a lot of people think I can talk to AI, talk through my feelings, and we've heard some not so good stories about people, especially younger people, doing that. Um, I don't think that that particular use of AI is always a bad thing, as long as the main thing that we keep in mind is the human-centered aspect of it. So keeping in mind that the thing that you're talking to, while it might be eloquent, sometimes it depends on the model that you're talking to, might be eloquent. Um, it isn't human. It can't reason in the same ways that we can. And people talk about sentience, and which I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever. Not really, because I don't care. We have plenty of humans, we have animals, we have plenty of things that are sentient. For me, that's not the point. I don't need more people that are just digital people. I want tools that make our lives better, that give us ways to be superhuman. Because for me, it's made me be able to be superhuman. And so I want to help other people find that. And so using AI to basically boost whatever it is that you, the person, does to boost it. And for some people, it might not. For some people, it might just be completely irrelevant. I honestly would argue that there's got to be a way that it could be useful somehow because it's great for ideas. My brain immediately was like, well, a carpenter. What would a carpenter do? Well, a carpenter could definitely, research ancient Japanese woodwork. There's so much
Yeah,
that
so
you
true.
can use it for. And so I think really elevating our experience driven by curiosity is number one, the best way to use AI.
That's a great point. Of course, I'm coming from a healthcare perspective and mental health mostly. And I'm concerned that people, when they look for a resource, they look for something that's really reliable, that has evidence base according to science, that backs up, well, the reason that we use this in nutrition, or the reason that we look for this kind of medication, um, or this kind of information in the medical field. If I were to use AI, I might ask it a question like, give me 10 resources that are evidence-based, um, in uh, whatever it is I want to know, in healing depression, something like that. And that would be my limited way of maybe asking AI a question. So, how would you do that differently if you wanted to elevate that experience for me? Is there something else I might think about doing?
Well, first of all, you have to know to whom you're speaking. And so if you were to go and ask and keep in mind when I talk about different AI models, I'm talking about going straight to the source, not to other outlets that bring in the sources because they are altered by doing that. Anytime you use ChatGPT through some other medium, it's going to be different. So you have to think about the different models. You have ChatGPT, the ones that I use, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. I used to use Perplexity, not so much anymore because Gemini has kind of taken over there. But for what you're talking about for research, um, I would say Gemini is best. So I would go to Gemini. Gemini is best for more fact-based. It is Google, so it's going to have a bit of a slant, a lot of a slant sometimes. It depends on what you're talking about. But I would go to Gemini and I would, first of all, set up the context that we're talking about. And sometimes this takes a little while, but that's why it's really nice to use the voice recognition capabilities that a lot of them have, because then you can just as if you were speaking to a person, you can reel off your explanation of what you are going to ask it about. So I would set up the context. I am blank. I do blank. I want to talk to you about blank for the purpose of blank, and then tell it how you want it to give you the information back because that's really important. A lot of people don't realize that if you don't, the more that you corral it, the more guidelines, the more information you give it, the better the information you get back. Like, for example, the way that I use it, I generally, if I really, really care about what it is that I'm asking and what I get back, I will give it an example of the type of feedback I want because that's always the best way in my experience to get information that you can really use is given an example because it totally understands that. And and be willing to start over when it doesn't give you what it wants. Because you have to remember, don't just keep going. Because the longer you keep going, you get to that point where you're like, ugh, this is being stupid. It only gets stupider if you keep going. So it's all about
Advice.
the structure, information in. The more in, the better out.
Right. Yeah. Well, in speaking with you a while ago, I talked about early days of computers, and the catchphrase there was garbage in, garbage out. And there's a lot of stuff that is not real and not right and not um, useful floating out on computers, and AI is pulling some of that stuff in too. So people need to be very careful. Um, some ethical concerns about using AI. I do some writing. And a lot of editors on the platform that I write won't they look to see if you've used AI, and then they won't publish your work. I personally, because of my own upbringing and way of doing things, I don't think about using AI when I'm trying to do something creative. I don't want to pull in somebody else's work inadvertently. I don't want to, ruin anybody's copyright about things. So are there protections? Is there something that we need to be aware of with AI and ethical use of it?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Of course. 100%. What I would say as far as that is concerned, there's not much you can do when it comes to and the reason that I say that is because the companies that run the world of AI, it's really up to them.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't want AI to have its hands on it, uh like hide it under your bed because I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Um it really does end up getting its hands on everything. And it doesn't matter what guardrails they put around it. For example, my daughter and I, one of our favorite things to do when we're saying goodnight is we will play with Sora. So Sora is the video generation by OpenAI, which at first was really funny. And then they started copyrighting everything because it was trained on everything that's copyrighted. So everything's going to be copyrighted.
Right.
Well, uh, music, for example, if you go and ask it, hey, make a video with this song in the background, immediately copyright violation.
Right.
But if you go and you take the lyrics to that song and you don't sing them, you type them, and you kind of like parody it. So you change a word here, change a word there. It will 100% give you the riffs from that song. Sometimes it'll actually straight up play the song. So my point being that it doesn't matter what guardrails they think that they can put around it. People, because we're, believe it or not, actually smarter than it. The thing about AI is that it can store all the information, it can access the information based on your prompting, and it can compute data, but it can't reason the same way we can.
Okay.
So my 13-year-old daughter will always be able to outsmart AI because it you just find the hack, you find the trick that makes it do the thing you want. So as far as ethical use is concerned, that I mean, in a lot of ways, I don't worry about my own content that I create. And I'm like you, I don't want to write, I will not read things that AI write or that people use AI to write for them. I
Right.
won't do it. It's boring. It has no life to it. I strongly feel that there's going to be a pendulum swing the opposite direction. Because if you go on LinkedIn right now, everybody and their mommy is posting just AI slop. And it wouldn't have been AI slop in the beginning because we weren't all so overwhelmed with AI slop. But now anything that AI writes becomes AI slop. It needs the human. The human centered is so important. And so now you're going to end up having AI that's trained on the AI slop that people keep producing with AI. So it's like it's eating its own tail over and over. So it's like, are guardrails even going to be necessary anymore? Because it's just going to become all garbage.
Well, yeah.
Um,
I do, one of the things that really gets me is like the deep fake stuff that's out there and how it confuses people that where they really think they're looking at something real. And I have a real concern for the sanity of our country, for people in the world, that they stay sane and be able to know what's real and what isn't, and to be able to make that distinction. And they'll
yeah,
see a picture of there's a lot of AI on YouTube and in videos that are have narrating stories, and you'll see the pictures behind them, people with six fingers on their hand or missing and that's an AI picture. Um, and then you see it in politics, and you see it in other areas where you're not sure. Well, is that really happening? Are we in the middle of some kind of strange psyops here in the country?
we
Um,
are.
yeah.
Yes, that's a yes. On both sides, on all sides, every
Yeah.
single side.
Yeah. So
Yes.
is there a way to protect the vulnerable? Is there some advice you want to give to people?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get smart really fast. Get really smart really fast. Do not, I don't want people to be cynical.
Mm.
I just want people to be smart. If you see something, if you enjoy looking at things that are made by AI because they make you laugh, great. If you have emotional reactions to anything that you see on the interwebs, stop. Just stop because number one, who cares? Number two, it probably is fake.
Yeah.
And number three, if it's not fake, then it's just upsetting you. So stop, just stop. And I think what it's going to do is it's going to push us. See, everybody thinks like, oh, it's going to pull us farther apart and we're going to spend more time looking at our phones and we're going to spend more time looking at screens. I don't think so. I think we're going to get really tired really fast, and we're going to end up spending more quality time together because that's the only real thing that there is anymore. I
Wouldn't that
I
be cool?
hope.
Yeah, that would be cool if that really happened. I would love that. I think because I say to people, you need a tribe. And you need support to help you heal from things, just life every day. And please don't use AI for that. Use another human being. I read somewhere that a teacher gave an assignment where the kids were supposed to use AI, and then the next part of the assignment was tell me why it's wrong. Tell me where it's making its mistakes.
Yeah,
And so I mean, that's one great way to figure that out. Do ask it something, but then do the other work attached to knowing whether it's right or wrong or real or good for you.
absolutely.
Yeah. So is there something I should know about AI that we didn't talk about? I want to make sure we cover some of the
Oh,
salient.
there's
Tell me.
so much.
Tell
There's
me.
so much. Um, I mean, I think that I don't know if it's something you know or don't know, but I think that if there's any one thing that kind of want to put out there to the entire world, um, number one, just learn how it works. Take a minute. There are plenty of good explanations. For example, I would listen to just about anything that Andrew Ng, um, who out of Stanford. He started Coursera, great at explaining this stuff.
Okay.
Anything that he does to explain AI, listen to it. Anything you run into, because the more that you know about how it actually works, it's not that magical. It's not. It's just that there's so many little building blocks, and now it's gotten really big.
Yeah.
But the building blocks are literally ones and zeros. That's it.
That's the binary code for everything in computers.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Um,
And so get educated
yeah.
and and don't take it seriously. Don't let it. intimidate you. And whatever it is that you do professionally, learn how to use AI in it so that you will be relevant.
Okay.
That is really important.
So, what I do for my subscribers and anybody that chooses to watch this video and hopefully subscribes after watching this, is I put all resources that I can find that are relevant in the description. So, of course, I'll be putting your information, your contact information in there. I'll be putting in something about Andrew Ng,
Hmm.
where to, so if you know something, in the meantime, you could send me some resources and I can
Sure.
send them to put them in the bottom of this video for people. And if people do have some ethical concerns, I did come across an article in somewhere that I will put also in the chat down. It's Upwork. Upwork is the name of it. 6 ethical considerations of artificial intelligence. So I can put a link to that too, so people have that information. Um, so what I try to do is keep these videos within a small period of time so that people stay with me. I want them to watch this whole thing. And I want you to come back. I want you to just, share what you know and be part of this
Absolutely.
community because you're such an important figure in the world. Whether you know that or accept that or not, you just are such a powerhouse. And it's really important that, what you know gets out there. And I want you to know how much I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, so any last words that you have? Anything else that maybe we should have covered really quickly?
Well,
We could
I
talk about
think
next
that,
time.
yeah, well, I mean, I think that it would be great if people could learn to play with the technology that's out there, because I believe firmly in playing with information as a way of learning. I mean, that's the platform that I'm building. That's what it's all about. Learning to really play with technology so that you can understand it, or learning to play with whatever it is you want to learn more about. And I think that education is the key to not being afraid, to not to knowing that you can be at peace with a thing, right? And so becoming educated on AI, and stay away from the fear-based stuff, no matter how much it says that this person has their degree from wherever, no matter how much it says that they're the number one whatever in AI. I'm specifically talking about one book that is trying to scare everyone. Um, remember that humans, well, remember, or here, I'll tell you for the first time, humans are so much more powerful than they realize.
Okay.
So much more powerful, so important. And so remember that your humanity is what you bring to this experience as you play with these new technologies and as you use them to elevate your humanity. Really, really important, because I mean, we could absolutely have the most amazing future you can imagine, or we could go down the drain.
Yeah.
And it is literally up to us, all of us, like right now.
Well, well, let's choose that we elevate ourselves. And
Exactly.
remember that learning and playing are 2 of the most important things when it comes to self-care. Um, and play safely, and learn safely. Apparently, that's the other part of this is make sure that you're really pulling on the best resources possible and stay human. So that's a great message, and I'm grateful that you put it out there.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's talk about seeing you some other time. And
Yeah.
let's talk about also, that folks need to communicate in order to keep this channel growing. And part of the idea here is to put good information out into the world, information that people can really trust and engage with. And so if they want to ask you a question or
Mhm.
something comes up, they can put it in the comments, please. If they like what they've seen, hit the like button and definitely subscribe and let us know that you want Evan to come back and maybe we can.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Evan. I do appreciate it. And I will see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye bye now.